What is up, YouTube? James Baek here, and welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back-to-Back Battles. We have a brand new team for the series here today. Starting off this week, we're going to be using Manectric, Tapu Bulu, Incineroar, Gyarados, Latios, and Celesteela. This team is a really interesting one, and I've been playing with it a bit off camera. I haven't done exactly well on Battle Spot. It was actually doing really well on Showdown, but Battle Spot, I don't know why. I'm just not into it right now, I guess. But yeah, so right now, so we find Tofu as our first opponent. It's actually Christmas Eve when I'm recording this, so it's the holiday season. So I hope everyone, if they're celebrating holidays, happy holidays to everyone. And if you're not celebrating, I hope you're just having a wonderful day or week itself. But I really do hope everyone is having a great time no matter where you are, no matter where you are in the world. I hope you are with people who care about you and people who you care about as well. So we got Tofu here with a team of Kangaskhan, Landorus, Tapu Fini, Zapdos, Aegislash, and Heatran. Nothing really new. It's a pretty standard team. The question is, how do I want to play around this team? Double Intimidate's really good against my opponent's team. Tailwind is a bit annoying for my opponent. I think the four Pokemon I want to go here are Manectric, Gyarados, Tapu Bulu, and Incineroar. Tapu Bulu for the Fini, as well as does a lot to Kang. Gyarados does pretty well as an Intimidate mod. Manectric, obviously the Mega, and it can do really a lot of work against my opponent's team. And Incineroar, because it helps against the Aegislash. Fake out pressure is always nice. So I think I want to go Incineroar, Manectric, because that's usually a lead I really like leading, with Gyarados and Tapu Bulu in the back. We'll see how this goes. I could see something like Kangaskhan, Zapdos leading. There are quite a few things I could see my opponent leading here. We'll see what my opponent opts for, because I'm not too sure. But yeah, I've tested this team a lot on Showdown. I only started testing it on Battle Spot just before the recording, so we'll see if it can do some work. But we got Aegislash Landorus leading. Okay. As Landorus gonna drop an Intimidate. Unfortunately, I can't tell like what item the Landorus is. I could see it being Z move. There are a lot of things I could see it being. I think the play is to protect with my Manectric and just go out into Tapu Bulu. I could see Z move coming out, and yeah, I don't want Incineroar to take that, as Landorus is actually going to switch out. Okay. Into Tapu Fini. Oh, this works out amazing, especially if you never need Nightmare. This works out amazing. Okay. So I'm going to withdraw my Incineroar, go out to Tapu Bulu. Who's going to be able to get the Grassy Surge up. And okay, I don't think you Flash Cannon the slot. Do you sub here? You might have Substitute. You might go for Never Nightmare. King Shield, okay. That's fair. And I don't see a reason not to just go for Snarl right here, because Snarl should do a lot of work against my opponent. And Horn Leech into Tapu Fini. Horn Leech on Tapu Fini, I think, well, we'll be able to pick up a knockout and just do a lot of damage to whatever comes in. Looks like my opponent stays in, so are you weakness policy, Aegislash? That's not a lot. Is that a crit? Yeah, but I just want to lower the special attack so Tapu Bulu can survive maybe a Flash Cannon, Manectric, maybe a Never Ending Nightmare. Yeah. And my Tapu Bulu is very fast, so it outspeeds the Tapu Fini, gets the Horn Leech off, and does knock out the Tapu Fini, because we are choice banded. Critical hit. Okay, so my opponent might not know we're choice banded, or might just assume KOs normally. Manectric not going to go for the Z move, it looks like. Just going to go on the offense here, and I'm assuming it's a Flash Cannon. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so Snarl allowed me to survive that Flash Cannon, which is really good. Okay. That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. As let's see what my opponent's going to bring out. Landorus. Kangaskhan. Okay, so my opponent doesn't have Zapdos, so I don't need Lightning Rod anymore. Intimidate's like very safe here, so I'm just going to get my Mega Evolution up and protect. I could also just... No, I think I should Mega Ball protect. Yeah. And I think I can just go out in my Incineroar, to be honest, because Incineroar can put on a lot of pressure against my opponent the following turn, and no matter what my opponent does, it's not like the damage output will be too significant here. Unless it's like a double edge. Or Aegislash could switch out into Landorus. Okay, good play from my opponent. I like that play a lot. But that means I get intimidated off onto this Landers as well as this Kangaskhan. I have Fake Out pressure for the next turn, and I can Volt Switch the Kangaskhan slot pretty safely. Go out into my Gyarados and probably just Fake Out the Landers. So let's see here. So Incineroar is looking to do a lot of work here, especially next to my Gyarados. Intimidate gonna affect these Pokemon. I would like to get Tapu Bulu in a position where I can Horn Leech maybe and get a lot of recovery off because it's probably my best offensive pressure against the Landers. Kangaskhan gonna Mega Evolve here. I could also just Fake Out the Kangaskhan slot, which I'm actually thinking about doing since Earthquake won't knock me out. Tectonic Rage could. Fake Out's gonna go out into the Incineroar slot, okay. Surprised it's not just a Double Edge, but maybe my opponent's worried about Choice Scarf, potentially? No, but I went before my Manectric. Maybe my opponent thinks I'm like Jolly. Like the Jolly Tapu Bulu Scarf ones that just outspeed like Tapu Koko by 1 point. But I'll Volt Switch here and I'll go for Fake Out into the Kangaskhan slot. I'm more worried about Double Edge than like Earthquake because I get a free switch into Gyarados no matter what anyway. So Fake Out going to go out into Kangaskhan. I do get a Volt Switch off. Nice. And then these Pokemon will be at -2. And then if I get to bring out my Manectric again, I could get these Pokemon at -3. And literally setting up with Gyarados looks so good right here. So I'll bring out Gyarados. On a Rock Slide or Earthquake? I think it would be... Or Tectonic Rage, potentially. Flinch. Just Rock Slide, okay. That's -2, though, so it shouldn't do too much. Yeah, it doesn't do anything to my Gyarados. And I do want to find out what's the Z move on this team? Is it Landers? Could be Zapdos. It could have been Aegislash, which makes a lot of sense. I think I'm just going to Dragon Dance here, though. And switch out to Manectric. Manectric's just a very safe switch in overall against my opponent. The problem is I do have to knock out the Landers. Landers is a problem to my team. Because my Tapu Bulu was already weakened. So I had to figure out a way to knock out this Landers. And a Dragon Dance should allow me to start getting the momentum up to knock out this Landers. So, one, I guess we'll find out. Actually, I don't think we find out if it's Scarf. No, we do find out because it's not Scarf. Double Edge is going to go out in a Gyarados. Yep, no crit. Nice. And a Rock Slide. Please don't flinch. Doesn't do much. Nice. Okay. So I get to Dragon Dance up. Nice, nice, nice. And now I can go for a... I think Volt Switch is fine. Go on to my Incineroar. Yeah, I'll just protect my Gyarados and Volt Switch out into... I could also Supersonic Sky Strike the Landers and Volt Switch that slot. I could also Waterfall. Actually... No, I'll just protect him Volt Switch, I think. It's safe. Yeah, it's Landers withdraws and Aegislash. I think I could have just doubled up that slot potentially. But we should still be good. Because this Kangaskhan's not looking like it can do much to my team. I also wish I could Volt Switch the Aegislash slot. Maybe I should Waterfall Volt Switch. Could be AV Landers, which is why my opponent made that play. As I'm going to go on to my Incineroar right here. The question is like... There's like a few questions I do have to ask about my opponent. Double Edge going to go out, target down the Gyarados. Okay. What does more? Z move or Waterfall onto Landers? I mean, 120 doubled is 240. Z move is what? It's 85. I'm talking about Z bounce though. 160, 240. So they do the same amount. I might as well just keep my Z move. I'm just going to Waterfall here, and I think I'm going to knock off the Aegislash. As Aegislash King Shield. Okay, that's perfect. I would gladly take that. Sucker Punch. This shouldn't knock out Gyarados by a long shot. Yeah. Perfect. Now I get the Waterfall off, and this is going to target down the Kangaskhan slot, so I do get rid of Kangaskhan, and now I can Supersonic Sky Strike, I think, the a Lander slot, then I can sack my Bulu and my Gyarados, get my Incineroar plus my Manectric in, and that should be game. Because it's not Scarf Landers, it's probably AV, I would assume. I'm guessing Ghostium on the Aegislash. So I'm just gonna Z bounce here the Landorus. I could also Waterfall potentially for a flinch, but I'm just gonna go for my Z move, I think. And switch out on the top of Bulu. So let's see, I'm gonna sack Tapu Bulu here. I do get the grassy terrain up. And let's see. The move gonna come out. How much does this do to Landers at neutral? I would imagine at least 90%, I want to say. Actually, it might not do 90. I think it does 80. I would say 80. I think 80 is a safe benchmark. Supersonic Sky Strike. Does this KO? No, but it does the amount I need it to. Rock Slide gonna come out. Let's see if Aegislash gets behind the sub, because I think that's the only thing that could change this game. But then again, I could just fake out Snarl, which I think is fine. Let's see. Aegislash gonna go on the offensive here. Okay. Shadow Ball into nothing. Okay. Now I go out on Manectric and Incineroar. I think knockoff into Flamethrower is very safe here. I mean, yeah, knockoff and Flamethrower. I Flamethrower the Landers. I knock off the Aegislash. Because that should allow me to net a KO. And I'm not sure if Manectric can live at Never Ending Nightmare, even at -1 with the Aegislash. With -1 special attack. So I'm just going to Flamethrower and knock off the Aegislash slot. As my opponent stays in. Okay. Yep, I didn't think my opponent would go for Blade Form. I think you have to attack there. And most Landers are AV, so this is the reason why. And I'm actually faster than the Aegislash, so knockoff going to come out and probably just knock out this Aegislash. Yeah. Oh, critical hit. I don't think it mattered because I could just Flare Blitz, and even the King Shield wouldn't help my opponent, really. So that's going to be a good game against Tofu right there. I think overall, like, just being able to be put in that position where I was just able to basically get these Intimidates rolling, which, you know, my opponent had 2 physical attackers. They really couldn't do much damage. Getting that Horn Leech on the Tapu Fini was huge because I didn't have to worry about, like, Tapu Fini absorbing attacks early in the game. But my opponent really didn't have a switch into Choice Banded Horn Leech or Woodhammer. Or maybe my opponent was fearing the Bloom Doom and was like Specs Fini, so couldn't really switch out into anything and decided Fini was the one that should be switched out because you need Landorus to absorb the electric type attacks, and you need Kangaskhan for damage and fake out output. So yeah, sacking the Fini was nice for me because I was able to get the momentum, but I think I kind of lost it in between because I feel like overall, like, I could have played better. Like, I think Lander switching to Aegislash was a really good play for my opponent, but I felt like maybe I should have read into that more because, like, -3 Landers isn't going to do anything to my team unless it crits me. So I think the best play there was just to attack there with my Gyarados 100%. But anyway, we did end up picking up a win for the start of this team, so I'm already pretty happy. Let's see if we can maybe pick up another win or 2 potentially. But I don't know, I really like this team on Showdown. I feel like it did do a lot of work. I don't know what happened between Showdown and the time I decided to practice Battle Spot with it. I don't know what just happened. I guess I just didn't really play well. Yeah, I just didn't play well overall. But I don't know, I'm magically behind the face cam, so maybe I can pull things off, who knows. But this team is pretty fun. If you want to go try it out, the pace bin is going to be down below in the description. So yeah, if you want to try out this team, the pace bin is down below in the description if you want to try it out on Pokemon Showdown. I think it's a really fun team, and if you look at the sets, there are a lot of unconventional sets. We already revealed our Choice Banded Bulu and the Supersonic Sky Strike Gyarados, which is an event Pokemon. And shout out to my friend George for getting it for me because he had it for VGC 17. And I asked him if I could use it, and he was really cool about it. So yeah, I'm able to use this event Gyarados, and yeah, I think Supersonic Sky Strike is pretty underrated on Gyarados and VGC 18. I don't really, like, we saw in VGC 17 a bit, but we never really saw it in 18. Because, you know, Mega Gyarados is a thing, and most people will just still opt for Watarium. But I think it's pretty cool to have a Z bounce, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I think we're just going to cut to the next game. So we're going to be right back with the second game of today's episode. Oh, we already found our opponent. Japan player for 1731. It's actually Christmas Eve, which I already said. So I'm surprised I'm actually fighting a lot of opponents. But we got Kangaskhan, Landisfarian, Heatran, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, and Cresselia. I might have played this person. No, I didn't play a Koko at all. No, I played one Koko, but that was on a Charizard team. Okay. So this is interesting because I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I'm liking the 4 again. Like the main Pokemon I really brought was Manectric, Tapu Bulu, and Incineroar Gyarados because I think the synergy was really good. And I brought Celesteela and Latios to certain matchups that kind of gave it trouble, like Rain, for instance. So Manectric is really, really good here. I'm not sure if I would lead it though. But being able to Volt Switch around is pretty nice. I think I'm gonna go Manectric Gyarados. Yeah, Manectric Gyarados actually seems pretty good with Tapu Bulu and Incineroar in the back. Yeah, I like that. Because I can lead Manectric plus Gyarados, get Intimidate off, and then Volt Switch. Switch on my Gyarados and Volt Switch into Gyarados once again. Get basically 2 or maybe 3 Intimidates onto my opponent, which would be a really nice start. Also, I love the Champion Halfbeam. But in the comments down below, let me know what your holidays plans are, if you have any, because I really do enjoy the holiday season. I haven't really enjoyed it as much this year just because like I've been really busy, but I still love the holiday season and I love the holiday spirit. So let me know down below like favorite things to do during the holiday, how you prep for this holiday, etc. As we see the Kangaskhan plus the Tapu Koko. Okay. Do you have Discharge? I think I just scout for Discharge turn 1, so I'm just gonna protect. I mean, double protect here. Because you can't give World Havoc through this. Like, no matter what, the only way you could really do anything is if you had Discharge and switch into Landers, which is kind of what I'm assuming you might have. Because I don't see leading Tapu Koko otherwise. What's a good switch and pivot otherwise? I think Bulu's... No, Bulu takes too much damage. I think I have to go Incineroar. Kangaskhan's going to switch out into Landers. Yep. You're Discharge, aren't you? Maybe I should have attacked with Manectric, but I didn't want to risk Fake Out in... Well, you're not going to Fake Out Discharge, but I didn't want to risk, like, Fake Out Gleam. Okay. Huh? Okay. I don't really get that play, to be honest. Not sure about Thunderbolt. Were you predicting a switch? I think that's... Or maybe Manectric to Mega Ball. But those are the only 2 plays I can really see. I think I'm just going to Volt Switch to Tapu Koko since I do think you go on the offensive here if you had the chance. You could Earthquake Protect, though. I think Bulu's safe, too. I think Bulu's the safe switch in here. Just because Bulu should be able to absorb the attacks, and the Grassy Terrain might allow Manectric to survive attacks here. Might do a little less damage to Tapu Koko, but I can always Revenge KO Koko later in the game, as long as I have, like... some like I put in Flare Blitz range, I put in like Waterfall range, so I think I'm pretty good. Volt Switch, good damage, and I'll go on a Gyarados here for Intimidate onto Landers because dealing with Landers is a pain. I do want to Horn Leech the Landers slot as soon as possible because this Landers is probably the more problematic Pokemon compared to Koko. Knockoff, okay. I into my Bulu, gets rid of my Choice Band. Unfortunate, because I would have loved to keep Choice Banded Bulu alive. I think Tapu Bulu should be able to live a barrage of attacks. I don't want to risk Gigavolt Havoc. Wait, did we see Life Orb? No, I don't risk it anyway. I go into Manectric here. Or I could go out into Incineroar. This is kind of hard maneuvering because it's like weird. I think I'm just gonna Horn Leech the Landers though, because I need to weaken the Landers for the setup plan to work. Because Landorus is annoying, especially if it switches in and out. And Coco might protect here, which I could see. So, I'm going to go Incineroar. And Empower. Ice? Oh, jeez. Rock Slide. Does this knock out? It does. Oh, man. Okay. Empower Ice caught me off guard. Because we saw Gleam, so I didn't expect HP Ice. You don't have Volt Switch then, do you? I'm going Gyarados. I think I have to set up a Gyarados now. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate for me because I needed my Bulu for like damage output, especially against Feeny potentially. And unfortunately, I don't outspeed Tapu Koko with +1 with this Gyarados, and I have to avoid like multiple rock slides. So I'm gonna fake out here and Dragon Dance. Landers might switch on to Kangaskhan. Koko switches out. Okay, is that a U-turn? Kangaskhan does come out. Fake out. What's this? U-turn or rock slide? This rock slide. Please don't flinch. Oh, come on. I need a Dragon Dance up, but rock slide's that kind of move, isn't it? I might have to sack my Manectric here, but I don't like this idea. I really don't like this idea. So I'm gonna switch on Incineroar and go into Manectric and hope you fake out Rock Slide my Lander slot. It's so dumb though. Because I could see Double Edge into the Manectric slot too. And this Kangaskhan's not Intimidate, which is like really problematic. Protect. Fake out. Into Gyarados. U-turn, okay. That's still kind of bad. That is still kind of bad. It's Tapu Koko's coming in. Heatran. That's a Pokemon that gives me a shot of winning. You have Bloom Doom on this Heatran? Well, I have to make... Like, I have to play around it anyway. I'm gonna Volt Switch here. Just Dragon Dance. Yeah, because I don't need Manectric around. Wonder if you're gonna Earth Power. Maybe Double Edge to Gyarados and Earth Power? The problem is I'm taking too much, and unfortunately Gyarados doesn't take benefits from grassy terrain, which would be really helpful here. Intimidate. Volt Switch. That's some really good damage though onto Kangaskhan. I'm gonna go out into my Incineroar. And I need to Dragon Dance up because this is the only way I can see me getting a Dragon Dance guaranteed. If I got one earlier, that would have been really nice because I could have Supersonic Sky Strike the Kangaskhan. Return gonna come out. That's gonna do less. That still did a ton of damage. And I need +2 in order to knock out Coco, which is like the one problem I have. Earth Power into the Incineroar slot, which is okay. As I survive it. Maybe I have to hope for a Heat Wave miss from this Heatran. I feel like that's the only way. But I could see Kangaskhan switching out into like Coco or something. I feel like I would have to make a risky read anyway. The safe play is just to fake out Kangaskhan, right? But my opponent might know that, so maybe just switches out into maybe like Gyarados or something. I mean into Landorus. I need +2 to knock out anyway, so I'm gonna fake out the Heatran and Dragon Dance. Yeah, because Kangaskhan's gonna withdraw, okay. Landorus, perfect. So I get the +2 I need to knock out Coco, and I keep Intimidate around, so Kangaskhan Sucker Punch shouldn't knock out Gyarados, but this game's still far from my reach. Dragon Dance. I think it comes down to whether he misses Heat Wave. I feel like that's the only play I have. So I am just going to go for a low kick into the Heatran slot. And no, I don't Z-move. I just waterfall the Landorus. Normal waterfall is fine. I also don't even know if I live a heat wave from the heat trend, but we'll find out. If it's flamethrower, it should knock out my Gyarados, which is problem. Which is why I would have loved the free switch from earlier. Okay, we're gonna see the switch out into Kangaskhan again. If I click Supersonic Sky Strike. Waterfall. Almost knocks out Kangaskhan and its Earth Power. Okay, that's fine. I think. No, I still don't like my position. So I get Manectric in. I had to deal with Fake Out. I mean, my Gyarados is at neutral, which is still fine, I think, for the game. I have to double protect here. I'm forced to, but I do want to make the hard read that Kangaskhan might switch out again. But I think I have to go for this play. I think Kangaskhan switches out, though. Okay, no, he's staying. That's fine. Okay, Fake Out into Manectric and a Earth Power. Okay. So if Waterfall maybe flinches or crits the Heatran, I'm still in this. I gotta go for Snarl here, I think. Overall. Because it knocks out Kangaskhan, I also get, you know, chip damage on Heatran. Maybe Waterfall knocks it out if it's an offensive variant. Sucker Punch shouldn't knock me out. Just kidding. Just kidding. That actually knocks me out. I did not expect that. Okay, that's game. So good game to my opponent. The Rock Slide flinch was really annoying because, like, I was basically playing the odds there. I think maybe I should have tried to find a way to get Incineroar to Fake Out and my opponent already intimidated in order to get back into this game. Because, like, that flinch really hurt because having the speed boost was, like, so important. Being able to get Dragonets up later in the game was also really important. So, yeah. I mean, my opponent did play well with the Kangaskhan, but yeah, I had to play around the odds with Rock Slide, and 30% chance to flinch is frustrating to deal with. But yeah, my opponent also caught me off guard with the HPI's Dazzling Gleam. Because it was Thunderbolt, HPI's Dazzling Gleam, Protect. I also maybe was worrying about Discharge too much, but I think it was like a safe assumption. Because leading Coco into that lead kind of, to me, would signal like you have Discharge. Because I don't think you lead that into Manectric, but that was a good game nonetheless. Unfortunately, this team gonna start off with 1-1 on today's episode. I'm gonna be playing some games off camera with it, but hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Back to Battles. If you did, please leave a like down below, show your support, as well as you can check out my other stuff such as my social medias, the pay spin of the team, and other stuff down below. Have a happy holidays, everyone, and I'll catch you around in another video.